Welcome, everybody. Tricky Guy Sports Podcast. Double B Brent Bilski here with you. Tony Blackburn. What's up, T?
What it do, bro?
Oh, man. Don't ever say that sports are boring, I guess will be the theme of today.
Well, it depends on what sport it is. Some of them are.
Well, I mean, yeah, but even then, I guess my point is that, like, even when I told people from the beginning when I used to do radio, I'd do a sports show, I was like, and they were like, oh, so you ever get tired talking about sports? I'm like, the good news is sports will let you go anywhere. You can go anywhere in the world with sports, as you'll find out today.
True.
I mean, there's all sorts of craziness going on. You got Deion Sanders.
Really?
Let's hear what he got to say, man. Let him live for a little bit.
We'll get into it here in a second. Russell Westbrook is now a Clipper. Los Angeles Clippers.
He happy. It's a good thing.
PG wanted him.
I'm happy. He's happy. Cool.
Paul George apparently wanted him over there.
Yeah.
And
and that's a good addition. I mean, we know he can hoop. Triple doubles.
Sure.
Give him a chance. Maybe the bright lights of the Lakers was a little bit too much for him.
And the Clippers' lights aren't so bright, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They're projected now.
For now.
I mean, people are starting to pick them. We'll get into that. Internet's undefeated. Do not challenge the internet. Do not try to fool the world. If there's the internet out there, they got time. They will figure you out, as a young fan named Felipe found out about. Felipe got himself caught.
Oh, no.
We'll get into that in a second here. The one thing we're going to lead with, only because we're not going to lead with it. So we're going to lead with it, but we're not. Speaking of oh no, and I don't want to be light.
No.
What happened out there, I'm going sounder crazy right now. Alabama. Oh, my God. There is a story. Yeah. Oh, God. The Roll Tide. There's been people leaving court. Like, you're going to jail for 50 years, and if you're from Alabama, what do you got to say to the people? Roll Tide.
Alabama.
I mean, they love them some sports. Obviously, football country.
Definitely.
But there's a story brewing in college basketball, and I am going to be very careful with this because we don't know. And until I know more, there's already a narrative being played out. So for people that, let me just update quickly. I'll give you the headline. A top 5 pick for the number 2 seeded Alabama Crimson Tide men's basketball team is possibly and has been accused of by some, and that's how the narrative is informing, in providing a gun that led to the shooting and death of a 23-year-old woman. That's one way to play this out, is that a program has apparently allowed, because he's a projected top 5 pick, the dude just last night, as this story is breaking, is so damn good, scores 41 points, most ever in Alabama freshman basketball history. No freshman has ever scored 41 points. Hits not just the game-tying layup, but then goes on to hit the game-winning layup in the same game, in a regulation and overtime, hits 2 game-tying and a game-winning layup, scores 41 points, sets this record. It's the highest, it's the most by a freshman in all of D1 basketball this entire season. I mean, he's a top 5 pick and all that. Oh, by the way, just happens to be possibly involved in a shooting that led to the death of a 23-year-old.
Alabama.
Mother of a son, the whole thing. That's one way to put it.
You said a lot, bro.
That's one way to put it, and I don't know if that's fair. But that's the story that's getting pushed around, and that's by, the Twitter judgment of the world is that, oh, he must have known, or he was involved. Let me, go ahead if you, we'll get into the details here for people that don't understand, but, that's how people are looking at this and spinning it. At least by what I call the jury of public opinion. Jury of public opinion said, oh, look, you guys are overlooking and letting a guy who, just because he's that good, you're letting him get away with stuff. The teammate who was involved directly with the shooting, being faced with capital murder charges, is off the team. And he, by the way, was a backup. I'm not saying any of this is fair, and that's why I want to be very careful in what I'm saying right now. I'm not saying any of this is fair, but I know that's the story that's being projected.
Life isn't fair. Life is not fair until, well, not even until. He hasn't been charged or anything.
Hasn't been charged with a damn thing.
Well, I read some stories too. Wrong place, wrong time.
And the other side of the story, and the one that I hope, and this is why we have to be very careful with this, because that's how some people are looking at it. Now, Brandon Miller is the name of the guy, and his teammate was Miles. I want to make sure I get the names of everyone right. Darius Miles. So crazy that they have names that are like Brandon Miller, Darius Miles, former Clipper himself. Remember Lob City and all that.
Yeah.
I'm delving off. So, yeah.
Crawford.
Yeah, so the story goes that Brandon Miller, by the way, has been charged with nada, has done nothing that they said was illegal. The university presidents and others, the athletic directors in Alabama, said we all looked at this and came to a consensus opinion that we really think that he was just wrong place, wrong time. His investigators and people on his side of the story are saying that, look, he had his teammate tell him, I need you to come pick me up. He drives to go pick him up, does not know that the gun, Miles had, some clothing and things in the back of the car. He swears, had no idea, just going to get him. Some stuff broke out over the now deceased woman is what it sounds like. Mm-hmm. Because even Miles necessarily, now just so people know, Miles didn't even, the other teammate did not actually do the shooting. He just provided the gun. It's so there's so much to go on. So Brandon Miller drives the car to give Miles his stuff, which included a gun, which then Miles gave to another man named Davis, who was actually the one who did the shooting.
Right.
So, I mean, talk about 6 degrees of separation of actually being anywhere even really involved with the crime. Miller is just, if anything, brought the car to the place that had a gun that he says did not know was in the back seat.
Well, rest in peace to the young lady that passed away.
Don't want to, and that's the main thing.
It's unfortunate it had to even go that far. So
I don't know what
we
to
aren't
think.
The judge, we aren't the jury. I mean, whatever happened, those individuals will be held accountable. So
I promise you, though, I already know how people are going to, because Alabama already has a reputation.
Alabama!
This is not even a good school, thanks to Nicky Satan and his football program. Has had, do I have to say allegedly, there were situations he had to kick people off of the football team for all sorts of interesting,
you
besides.
Ever been to Alabama?
Never actually visited Bama myself. I don't think it's too far from where I picture it.
It get crazy out there sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's college, man. It just happens to get a little bit crazier in Alabama,
And that's the other thing that Coach Oates, boy, gave a press conference that could not have been more tone deaf a couple days ago. And I'm trying not to just jump into this because it just happened this morning where the dude dropped 41, the game winner. They didn't even know if
both lefties, about lefties. I saw it.
I mean, the kid is nice. He's a projected, Brandon Miller is a projected who's being allowed to play during all this investigation because, again, he was not charged with anything. As of everything that's come out, he has not been charged with a single solitary
thing. The
thing.
narrative is always going to be surrounding him. Hey, man, you whether or not you knew, did you know, did you not know? I mean, it's something you have to deal with the rest of his life because, there's cameras. The real story will come out one day.
Yeah, they are saying that there was cameras involved from
cameras
the beginning and ending of the shooting. There was cameras everywhere that have all of this documented. So, again, we're going to find out more as this plays out.
Mm-hmm. I mean, nowadays in social media, kids will break out the camera during any instant. So, yeah, not kids, but anybody.
Anybody now will break out a camera.
Break out the camera to record it instead of enjoying the moment.
Trying to watch.
I mean, look, we talking right now. We recording it.
Right.
Watching people want to watch it.
Watching the dunk contest, the people like Reggie Miller and them who were doing the announcing and the Kenny Smith and all them. They're doing. They have goddamn screens giving the replays. We're recording the dunks on their phone, so they're not immune to just pull out your phone, pull out your phone, pull out your phone. Everything is going to come and play out. So there are two sides, and this is the truest thing I've learned in a long time. There are three sides to every story. One side, your side, the truth. You know what I mean? Everything, and it's somewhere in the middle. Here's what we know. Brandon Miller can play ball.
Ball out.
41 points as a freshman in the SEC, set an Alabama record, hits the game-tying, game-winning layups last night, during an ongoing investigation in which his teammate is facing, not him, his teammate is facing capital murder charges because even he did not do the shooting. The person he gave the gun, allegedly brought the gun to, then gave it to another man who got in a dispute over a girl. You
know how I go, man.
We were talking a little bit about
I'm
this.
gonna get you knocked off real quick. Not intentionally, but jealousy.
Rappers, you know what I mean? Like
It's not rappers only, man. Anybody in the world.
entertainers.
Anybody.
I'm just saying
Jealousy
there's some famous
over a woman will get you knocked off real quick.
There were some famous ones like the Teach Me How to Dougie kid was over a female. It was Offset. Now I don't want to be.
I'm not even getting into that.
I heard it was female related.
I'm not getting into that.
I heard allegedly.
I don't know.
I'm very street. I hear these things on the street.
Yeah.
I got my ear to the street. People know me.
What street? Dirt roads?
I was only like, there was only one golf course in our neighborhood that was like, it was at least a half block away. You know what I mean? It was rough,
yeah,
man.
that golf cart, bro.
Yeah, I had to get the cart out there. It was a rough life I led.
Nah, I mean, like I said, man, disputes over women, testosterone get to, especially you got to think, if it was at nighttime, it's outside the club, unfortunately, it can always go there.
So we have the story. You can either take that Brandon Miller is getting a free pass because he's so good and he's a top 5 pick. Alabama's number 2 in the country. That
number one UH?
I believe still, UH is still doing their thing.
Already.
Yes, sir. And that could be one way you say it, or you can say, look, this is a good kid who got caught up in some stuff, didn't know everything going on, was already going to pick this guy up, did not know the gun was in the car.
Yeah, he could have been chilling. They said it was like an hour later. He could have been, on his own type of time. And I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm just saying, like, maybe he didn't know. Or he said he didn't know, so he didn't know. Or it could be playing out either way. Fact of the matter is he balled out, and he is innocent until proven guilty, so he ain't do anything.
I'll tell you this. When I played JUCO in South Dallas, now it's not the roughest of rough, but it wasn't, I had some friends and teammates. I had to learn quickly and adjust quickly because of maybe, again, where I came from. Being one of the lone Caucasians on the team. Yeah, Luca, you know what I mean? And so learning phrases like, let me borrow your car right quick, and understanding there was nothing right quick about that.
Yeah, I mean,
giving your teammate your truck meant that sumbitch was going to be gone from Tuesday till next Monday. You know what I mean? Like, dude, right quick is one of the most loose terms in the history of terms that I had to learn early on as a 20-year-old.
One time I had to say, man, let me borrow your broom. Man, I ain't got a broom. You got my broom.
You know what I mean? So I learned quickly with teammates. Because you got to have, you were always supposed to have your teammates back, right? Yeah. Teammate says, boom, boom, I need you, boom, you're there. And not everybody, that it's one of the greatest things about sports is that it doesn't matter your background, doesn't matter who you are. Like, we're all on the same common goal. Military you could speak
like
to.
Growing up in a melting pot. Barracks, birthing. You could be from anywhere in the United States. When I first joined the military, there was a guy, I think his name was Woolrath. I can't remember what his name was. But he had never met a black person in real life. Can't make this up. Like, amazed. And that was like 20 years ago.
Crackers.
Yeah, it was crazy. So, but yeah, man, it's just a different culture, and that's what it is, man. It's not nothing saying your culture is better, mine is better.
Right.
It's just a different culture. Like, people are raised different based upon their values and beliefs. That's how it is,
Yeah.
Growing up in broken homes, that might be normal in one part of the world or one community.
Mm-hmm.
And, homes that have 2-parent, homes that might be more prevalent in a different community. So,
and we'll get to what Deion just said here in a second, but just to rehash it as far as like, like I said, I've experienced a little bit too of like, I didn't always know what my teammates had with, we'd be rolling somewhere.
You couldn't bring the potato salad, like.
You know what I mean? Like,
I
was learning different things. You find out different teammates are a little wilder than others, and sometimes you don't get to find out till it's too late.
Right, just hopping in the car with somebody and not really know what's going on.
Hey, we're on the
And
same team. We must be cool. And then next thing you
but
know,
their
oh, this
life is
dude
different.
does, something
Yeah.
totally different than what I'm about. Just because, even being said, even if Miller knew that, hey, I'm bringing you to an altercation, like I'm going to get into something, you still don't know exactly like, oh, that means. And now the text message he got said, go get me my joint. That's a whole nother part of it.
That could have meant anything, you know.
And,
'Cause,
even
and if he was already on the way, like, hey, you don't. They probably didn't. If anything happened like that, they didn't think it was gonna go
to that
far.
level.
Yeah, and that's probably, unfortunately, that's what happened. Like,
And it went to that
it went
level
to that
and someone
level,
died.
and
A mother died.
They weren't. Yeah, a mother died. And unfortunately, like certain people, shouldn't be allowed to handle handguns. We have had more incidents of schools getting shot up with handguns. I mean, with automatic weapons. So it's just about.
Yeah, I don't want to even get
Yeah,
to the
smart.
gun
Yeah, we
control
don't get
debate and all
yeah,
that.
we don't
That's
get into
that's a
all that.
whole
Yeah.
nother can of
I'm
worms.
like, it's yeah, man.
And even though we spent some time, and I just want to reiterate, I really don't want to give an opinion yet because I can see both sides of this. And
Right. We don't know all the facts. We know what he said, she said, what we've been reading, and it depends on what media outlets you are getting your information from.
Right. Two
Three
different
sides.
news sources,
Yeah,
two totally
yeah.
different
You hear-
stories.
You hear different stuff from different people, so you don't know.
So if you're not all the way familiar yet, just know that there is both ways you can say, oh, look, see, they're letting the top 5 guy get, leniency and all that. You can also say this is a good kid who's got a bright future that doesn't need to get ruined because he was teammates with a guy who was crazier than he thought and really did not know the situation he was getting into until it was too late. And while that was not maybe the smartest thing in the world to do, wasn't necessarily a man who, by the way, again, has not been charged with anything.
Right.
Is it
Does
fair?
he lose all everything that he's worked hard for
His whole
because
life.
of just, what I'm saying, pulling up to the wrong spot at the wrong time, or if he knew,
Being
you knew
cool with
better.
the wrong
you knew
teammate?
better. Yeah, if you
Did
knew,
he?
you knew better. If you didn't know,
I was 20
If you
riding
didn't
with my
know-
boys, and they'd have all sorts of drugs and goofy shit on that I didn't even know.
we live in Texas. Anybody, we can carry guns anywhere.
Yeah, and
So,
you don't know.
Yeah, so hey, we don't know if I don't know. It could be a bunch of stuff. So I
It
don't
could
know,
go.
bro.
There's
Yeah.
one side, there's the other side, and the
This is
truth
true.
is somewhere in
And,
between.
yeah, it's different perspectives of the individual that's watching. If we see a fight break out, you and I both gonna see two different views of what happened. Nah, this
Right.
happened because of this. No, that's bro. I was there. No, it's disagreement because we have different eyes and different values and the ways that we're brought up. So we don't know.
Yeah,
We just know he balled out last night.
right. That's one thing we do know. The
That's what we
dude
know.
can play. Alabama is actually good at basketball for once.
Alabama.
Arguably, the basketball program this year has done better than the football program. If you go by the fact that the football, they're not national championship contenders, and they're nothing really matters.
March Madness is here in Houston, right?
Is it this year? Is it in Houston,
yeah,
man?
Guess who's number one?
Yes, sir.
So, we'll see.
We shall see.
We-
One thing we
shout
do
out
know.
Cougars.
Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
said
Sorry.
shout out Cougars, man.
Yeah, shout out the Cougars.
Yeah.
yeah.
Shout out my boy Ant.
One thing we do know for sure is that Deion Sanders don't give a damn and might have stepped in it just a little bit.
Really?
Hey, man, and talk about, college and recruiting, and as a coach, like I said, if the Coach Oates, once we get more of the actual details in the Alabama thing, I do want to bring up what that head coach said, because Jesus Christ, and one thing I know is guilty of is that coach was tone deaf in that first press conference. But Deion Sanders has, as a football coach, had a meteoric rise. I don't even think that's a debate. I mean, the dude took Jackson State from, I want to say 2-11 or whatever it was, to a record 12-0 undefeated, and already has been hired now by the Colorado Buffaloes out there where they got the ganja.
I love weed, okay? I love it.
Man, I'm a little bit below right now still.
Do you
Go ahead. Yeah, man,
partake in all that? I had no idea.
Man, listen, I have a medical marijuana card for that, man. I'm a former-
Doctor says I need a Becky out of it.
I'm a veteran, man. I need that. You know what time it is.
Doctor says,
Anyway.
yeah.
Let's get to
I
Deion.
love weed.
Well, okay, so
I
let's
love
explain.
it.
So he was on the Rich Eisen show, and they are asking now Colorado head coach Deion Sanders about what you want to do when you recruit. Because, like as we just pointed out,
I mean, obviously he knows what he's talking about.
I mean, the guy's won a lot, but let me just explain. So they're asking him before, like, what do you look for in your recruiting? Because it really is. I mean, these kids, you have to have at least some idea of what you might look for and what you want to pick. Now, what he said about his quarterback, though, has ruffled a lot of feathers. Here's Deion to Rich Eisen talking about exactly what he looks for in quarterbacks versus everybody else.
Quarterbacks are different.
Yeah.
We want mother, father, dual parent.
Mm-hmm.
We want that kid to be 3, 5, and up because he's got to be smart.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad decisions off the field at all
Mm-hmm.
because he has to be a leader of men. Like O-lineman, I look for dual parent homes.
Right.
A strong father that they adhered to.
Right.
Smart kid, at least 3 and above. Lineman, defensive lineman is totally opposite.
What do you mean?
Single mama.
He want a savage.
Trying to get it. He's on free lunch.
Savage.
I mean,
You want a savage, bro.
I'm talking about just trying to make.
All right, so this, by the way, is Deion freaking Sanders. Deion Sanders, from his NFL and baseball career, has never given a damn about anything, does not care what you think, will say what he wants to say.
Nah, but he kind of dropping some jewels right there, bro. Think about it. The quarterback has to be smart. He has to be, because he has to be able to make those
Right.
decisions really quick.
Yes.
And then, like you said about the O-linemen, they have to be
In
smart
sync with the
and just
quarterback,
pretty smart, and like
know
you said,
the playbook.
adhere to a father. So he's saying it's like chess. They have to listen to what the quarterback is saying.
Right.
He dropping jewels.
Defensive lineman, I just
Hey,
need a dog.
get out
I need
there,
a
go get it.
hungry
Yeah, get out
dog
there.
type that
Ruh,
don't
ruh.
give a damn, that will bite through anything and anyone
Right.
to get to your quarterback and eat his lunch.
Okay, I mean, yeah, that too. That's his strategy. Like if we were playing, Madden, that's the type of team he would want, right?
Right.
He want the defensive lineman that's going to get it. But they're smart as well.
They're
They have-
smart
they
too,
have
but
to
that's
read the
not
play.
that's not the,
that's not what he wants on his team.
Yeah.
So you can't, that's what he wants.
So to review, yeah,
And he
Deion
kind of joking
Sanders,
around too. You see that laughing, he's joking around.
kind of in jest, but not.
But
so
he's still dropping jewels. I get it. It's
he's saying that, yeah, look, for my especially my quarterback, not just the 3.5 GPA, which ruffled some people, which I don't even quite understand, because anyone knows that a quarterback has to be kind of, thinking out stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact that he said, I want them to come from a dual parent home.
Oh, no.
That is what's got people in kind of a uproar or whatever you want to call it. And I will say, thank God it's Deion Sanders, because if that was Bill Belichick, or excuse me, like Nick Saban or Kirby Smart, it wouldn't be so smart
Did
at
you say
Kirby
Nick
Smart.
Saban?
Yeah. Wouldn't be so smart at Kirby Smart
Man,
from
get off
Georgia.
Nick, man. Nick, he's a legend.
Oh,
in
screw
Alabama,
Nick Saban.
man.
I'm not a fan of Nick Saban.
know
I
you're
don't
not,
care
but
how
Nick,
much he won.
He's a legend out there. He probably the only one who can go in the hood in Alabama. Nick,
I mean, even then, only because of what he, has done as a coach. I don't think he's actually got invited to the cookout based on his damn personality.
I don't know.
Point
Ain't nobody
being,
messing with Nick walking through the hood.
I don't-
middle of the night.
yeah, I don't think Nick Saban could have said that. I don't think Kirby Smart would be so smart to say that. There are certain packages that would not have been allowed as on a national television show to say, yeah, I need my quarterback to come from a dual parent home. Single parent home quarterbacks are not even in my recruiting list. It's an interesting statement, but is he wrong and is he crazy? Again, let's just
So, I mean, that's his formula. Whatever
Right.
it did work for him. But look, just because you have a dual parent home don't mean everything good. Dad could be at home.
Exactly right.
It could be DV going on. It could be a bunch of stuff going on. Like the mama could be beating up on the daddy. A bunch of stuff could be going on.
so many
So
people.
it doesn't mean necessarily that because it's a dual parent home, everything all good.
And that's what the argument's coming back. People are saying to Deion, like, hey, we get you have your own prerogative and your own opinion, but like you just said, not every two-parent home is, roses
Yeah, it's not Perfectville.
is perfect.
First of all, life isn't perfect. So
yeah.
you can come from any home. You can be homeless. You want it more than anybody.
And there's plenty of
So-
people who come from single-parent homes who have had a lot of success, who are being single parents currently as it is and doing their thing and raising their kids, and are saying like, look, you're kind of making us, you're almost making it sound like we're living an inferior life just because we're doing something that a lot of millions of people are doing nowadays that has no real stigma to it, yet you still have a stigma when it comes to recruiting your quarterback.
I say
That is what the new age outrage community is saying.
I mean, that's his opinion. I mean, first of all, I'm a single father.
Right.
So, and my son is smarter than almost everybody in the
Very
second
smart
grade.
kid. Very
he's in
good
first grade.
kid.
He's almost smarter than everybody in second grade.
Yes.
And he reads like at a 7th grade level. Is a single parent home? Is that going to give him a disadvantage? Yeah, he needs a mom sometimes, but I don't think that's going to give him a disadvantage of whatever he wants to do in life.
You would be a perfect example. Would you feel some type of way? Let's say he goes from video games to football, and 15 years from now, you want to go to Colorado, or your son's like, man, Dad, I've always wanted to play for Deion Sanders, and you find out that Deion basically doesn't give your kid a look, saying like, well, you don't come from the right home structure that I'm looking for.
That doesn't matter. I mean, the facts speak itself. Like, if you could ball, you could ball.
Right.
It doesn't matter where you come from, whatever field or profession you in. You make your own way.
Here's the thing, though.
You make your own way.
Here's the thing, though. He's not lying. Like, okay. Before I just step on this landmine, let me put it this way. There are certain, especially at the quarterback position and other positions, there are certain, when you're the actual undisputed, which the quarterback probably more than any other position in any sport, I mean, even coaches. I mean, a great quarterback and the one who's truly the leader, he's the leader of the team.
Yeah.
He runs the whole damn show. Everyone else is kind of window dressing to the fact that everything revolves around what he does, the example he sets, the leadership that he shows, the just belief. Like a lot of the times, like when you look at the great quarterbacks like Brady's, Mahomes, well, Mahomes but
Jim McMahon.
There's a perfect example of just certain people who just carried the respect of the team and led the team in a way that they were like, you know what? If nothing else, if I do my job and I put my quarterback in position to win, I believe we can win. That's what, in the end, to me, that's what a quarterback is, especially an NFL quarterback, college D1 quarterback is most importantly known for, is that if he does nothing else, he makes the rest of his teammates believe, you do your job, I will get us over the finish line.
The quarterback is more often than not the captain of the team.
Captain
of the ship.
Leader.
So, I mean, yeah, not
Coach
only do
on
you
the
have to
field.
lead the team, in college you got to get through college. So
Right.
you don't want the party boy that's not studying the plays, because if he's doing all the partying and not studying the plays, then he's probably not passing in class.
Right.
So,
as much as I love
you
the
gotta
Johnny
lead.
footballs, he did not win a damn thing other than a few
like
SEC games.
You should. I mean, if that's what you want to do for the rest of your life, focus on your craft.
Right.
And if getting through college is the main thing that's going to hinder you from getting to where you want to go, or if you just want to go pro right away, then focus on your craft.
So again, to me, a team leader, you make them believe, you hold yourself to a certain standard, you hold your teammates accountable, and you have to be able to hold them accountable to a reason that they can say, well, I look at you and you hold yourself accountable. So you know what I mean? Like there's certain qualities that come. I looked into as far as, hold on, just real quick. So to give you an idea, the ones I'm going to give you some names on both sides and a list of either dual parent or single parent. Steph, MJ, Magic,
yeah.
Brady,
Yep.
Tiger, Kobe, Bonds, Manning, Mahomes. This was not even my list. I looked these up. Here was the top: Durant, Tyson. This is the other side. LeBron,
See?
A-Rod, Ricky Williams,
Ricky,
Ray Lewis,
Ray.
Kaepernick.
Shout out Colin Kaepernick.
All great athletes, but if you had to guess, if I, when I give you Steph, Brady, Mahomes, you know what I mean, Manning, Kobe, or I give you guys like Durant, Tyson, LeBron, A-Rod, Ricky Williams, Ray Lewis, what side do you think comes from the greatest athletes of two-parent homes versus single-parent?
Only because I know of those individuals. I mean, but it doesn't make a difference, right? Look at LeBron. Is he the king? Y'all call him the king? Is that your king? I mean,
a lot of people call LeBron the king, but is LeBron a true leader in the way that
Yes.
MJ and Kobe led?
it was a different league. Like you can get beat up in the NBA back then. Like you can't do that now. So
Just to give you, okay, just if anyone out there is playing, has really issues figuring this out. Obviously, the two-parent home list I'm giving you is Steph, MJ, Brady, those guys. I mean, arguably the goats of goats. And I looked this up. The single-parent home top 14 athletes they came up with was like KD, Tyson, LeBron, Shaq. They threw in Lance Armstrong.
Okay. Come on, look at Lance. Come on.
I mean, yeah.
Who's number one?
They had Kaepernick at number 1, which is interesting. Jackie Robinson now at 2.
Come on, man. Look
now, Jackie.
Listen, man. Like, come on. The list is misleading.
Is it though?
If you're a great athlete, you're a great athlete. It doesn't matter how many parents you had. Like, what if you only had your mom or your dad, and that's the one that pushed you super hard because they know that you had it in you?
Well, let's look at that, because let me give you some of the examples they brought up. Like, they brought up Larry Bird on single parent. I think actually, though, that kind of needs to be pushed to the side, because Larry didn't lose his dad till he was 18. Do we really count that as being raised in a single parent home?
I would think so. That's kind of, I mean, not raised, but that Larry could have just fell off track right then.
Well, you know the story.
No, I don't.
Larry Bird's dad killed himself. Wow. Shot himself.
So imagine how hard that is to turn around and still be great. It's great. Larry didn't even take off his warm-up jacket. Came up there double-handing. Wow.
Yeah, now Larry Bird was a bad dude. Larry Bird was also one of the meanest, most cantankerous sons of bitches on the planet.
He been through a lot.
And there's a reason for it. There's a reason for what he is.
Who was his rival? Magic.
Right.
So you said the dual parent.
Magic dual parent.
Dual parent home. Yeah. So, I mean, both great in their own sense.
Well, let's look at some of the, okay.
So those stats, whatever they're saying is a little bit misleading.
See, I already tell you're feeling some type of way. Hold on. Let's go through it. Kevin Durant. Is Kevin Durant a great leader? Like, as far as holds himself accountable, you never have anything as far as leadership issues off and on the court.
You're going to bring up the burner account, right? Here we go. Yeah,
did Kevin Durant not do a burner account?
I rock with Katie, though, man. Like,
do you know Michael Jordan or Kobe or Tiger doing a damn burner account to get?
They don't use phones. They're older than him. Like, come on.
Now we're doing this shit. Now we're doing. Oh man, easy. They don't.
They can't have a burner account on a flip phone. Like, how do you know how long it's gonna take to text with all them letters?
I can't. I don't know how to type with my thumbs are too big. Tweets.
Man.
I don't know how to tweet.
Kevin Durant.
I don't tweet, so I don't think it's different when you get older. Do you tweet?
I don't tweet a goddamn thing, but that's,
I'm saying, so look
neither
at
here
it,
nor there. Kevin Durant, as great as he is, other than when he was with Steph Curry, has not had any success. He feuded heavily with Russell Westbrook and James Harden in OKC, especially Westbrook. He goes to Brooklyn, can't get along with Kyrie, can't get along with Harden.
I think they got along. I think they were injured more.
The point, they couldn't seem to, even when Kyrie started going ham, going bananas, doing his own thing, KD was just like, bro, I'm here to play ball. I can't really, leading this dude and helping this dude is not my responsibility.
Okay,
I don't want it.
I see what your point of view is. Yes, KD, I'm not saying he is not a leader. He leads on the court.
Right.
And on the
but
game,
if you're Deion Sanders looking for a leader of men, the whole leader of the team.
But college is different than professional. So
very true.
They have different things they have to lead in. They have to get through college to go pro, or they have to just get through. A lot of these kids, they haven't learned the whole system. Mm-hmm. So he wants somebody smart, somebody that's going to be able to lead a team because they have 4 years. Depending on how long they got to do it quick. That's his formula. So
that's his formula, and is he wrong? That's what I'm asking, because a lot of people are saying that Deion Sanders is wrong.
A lot of people
for this.
aren't Deion Sanders, so
and a lot of people couldn't have said that they weren't Deion. But let me look at some of the other top athletes from single parent. Mike Tyson. Do we even have to? I love Mike Tyson. I got to interview Mike Tyson.
What?
Yeah, I got.
Punch you?
This was over the phone. He was intimidating. Over the phone, Mike Tyson scared the piss out of me.
First of all, I'm not going to even mimic him right now. But I can do everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
I have that poster in my house. I was giving me his birthday. One of the greatest quotes of all time. Everyone's got a plan to get punched in the face. You can spin that metaphor in 1,000 different ways. Yeah. But even interviewing Mike Tyson, we were in a small city with no delay button. So no, if you say something wrong, I can't do anything about it. This is right before
There's
Floyd.
Nothing wrong, Mike. You say. Over the phone, he would knock you out.
Over the phone, I did not correct him because I brought up Floyd and Manny hadn't fought yet. And I hit the wrong button as far as, I got him going. Off the real man shit, they should just fucking fight. I don't know why he won't fucking fight him. I'm like, Mike, and I'm not saying a word. My producer.
Mike, I did not agree with that. He ain't tell me he's going to do that. Get him, not me.
I worship Mike Tyson's. Like, I am one of his favorite fans of all time. I mean, I'm a
If he
huge
knocked
Tyson
you out,
fan.
would you rather? All right, for $1 million.
But Mike Tyson will admit he's crazy.
would-
He's cray.
For $1 million, would you let Mike Tyson
Not in a
punch
million.
punch you in
No.
the face or the gut? All right,
No.
$2 million.
No.
Blindfolded, $10 million.
Do people understand the power that a Mike Tyson has in
Yeah.
any of these false scenarios
So
of like,
if you
yeah,
had to take a gut shot or a body shot, you had to. Which one would you take?
I mean, I guess gut.
He gonna. All right, go ahead.
It'd be just because as bad as internal bleeding is, I will
right.
probably, get sewn up and go through surgery.
Just remember
Head
that.
trauma.
Remember that when you just mimicked him, and then
Head or
you know what
gut.
I'm saying, when you mock him, hey, he gonna say head or gut.
Yeah.
Be prepared.
Yeah, I
Hit
thought
some
you knew
sit-ups, man.
podcast. You're really funny. You wanted the stomach, you wanted the faith.
Okay.
Either way, I'm going to give it to you.
I didn't laugh, Mike.
I love me some
Didn't
Mike
laugh.
Tyson.
I didn't laugh.
But would you want Mike Tyson to be the quarterback of a team where he has to lead other
different
people?
Different sports. Mike,
I'm
has
just
to
saying.
lead.
I'm just going through the list in order to make Deion's point or not make his point.
Jackie didn't have to lead. Who else you said? Colin Kaepernick.
Well, let's keep going. LeBron is LeBron for all that he is the leader than MJ or Kobe.
You have to say he is. You have to. Other than that time with J.R. Smith,
I think LeBron.
he's a leader, bro. I mean, it speaks for itself.
LeBron leads by
how about
example.
this? He does lead by. He leads the scoring title. So he is a leader, the scoring title leader. How about that?
LeBron leads by example, but does he lead as like the way
First
an
of all,
MJ
shout out
leads?
LeBron. LeBron, his name is never in the news for anything bad. He's married to his high school sweetheart. Look at he had Bronny. Come on,
Bronny, by the way,
yeah,
going to be a
come
top
on, man,
10
like,
pick right now.
hey,
Projected top
hey,
10 pick in 2
he said
years.
he's not going to Orlando though.
Right.
LeBron said if he goes to Orlando, I'm retiring. But look, LeBron, he's a leader, bro.
He's a leader.
Strong man. Like, come on, bro. Strong black man. Never in the news for anything bad. I didn't even know LeBron drink. I saw him drinking one day.
He
I was
drinks
like,
a little
"Dang."
wine.
Yeah, I was like, what? LeBron drinking?
Why you got to bring up the strong black? Now I can't even say nothing.
Yeah, good.
Because he's white. Because he is white. Look at
Why you got to throw that card out? You know what I mean? Like, goddamn,
Shout out
that,
LeBron.
that's a
And
little
shout
dirty.
out Colin Kaepernick, too.
This
All right,
is-
go ahead.
Yeah, so I would just say, like, you looked at like a LeBron, who I think is for one, a extremely great teammate, has his leadership abilities, but
Oh, one more point with LeBron. He didn't have to lead in college, straight from high school.
Right.
So he's been a leader since 18 in the NBA, punishing grown men when he was a little boy.
I mean,
Not a little boy. I mean, come on, man. So LeBron, leader, he doesn't fit
He's
into
a
what
nice-
Deion's saying because he didn't have to go to college. He
Right.
went straight to the NBA, and he led that team.
But
When they played the Pistons, right? He led them to the playoffs. He put the whole team on his back. So he's a leader. I mean,
He's a
there's
nice guy leader.
There's a definition. We have to really define what do you mean by leader when we go through that.
I'll give you what I consider a true quote unquote leader. One, you make everyone believe in the fact that you can win as long as you're on top and we all ride with you. You lead the team. We do our jobs. You're going to lead us to victory. To me, that's one. Two, you hold yourself to the highest standard. No one else on the team. You're the first in, last out. You're that dude. No one can question your work ethic. Fine. Hold your teammates accountable. You're not their friend. You hold them accountable in a way that you can bust their ass a little bit, and it's respected because you're that guy. Last thing I would say on that is that they always will take on the most now, this is probably the one where I get on LeBron. I didn't just make this up. I wrote these down earlier. The ability to always take on the pressure clutch moment because you are the one responsible in the end. As the top dog, it's on you.
See.
It's on you.
Now I get what you're saying. Because I was gonna say the first three, you cannot say that ain't LeBron. He, 20 years in the league.
Does he always hold his teammates accountable?
But yeah, I'll say, I believe he never wants to take the critical shot. I mean, maybe now this year, just because of breaking the scoring title, but in the past, LeBron will pass the ball off and be like, "Oh man, you ain't make the shot, bro." It's like, bro, you was right at the rim. What are you passing it for?
I don't know.
I get what you're saying. If that's your definition of a leader, but he is a leader. It's just all right. That one wicket he didn't hit.
Right, and even then, like you're saying, I mean, that's still, LeBron should be, if nothing else, a shining example of someone that comes from pretty much a broken home, single parent-ish thing that came out to be an amazing person, athlete.
Right.
Legacy's going to go on forever. As much as I do nitpick his leadership and his clutch ability sometimes, somewhere Nick Wright is like, ripping his nipples off, because you can find these stats that'll say, quote unquote, clutch with 45 seconds left. He has stats that are better than Jordan and Kobe. You can't, other than like the Cleveland Orlando game winner, like I can't even barely think of any like big time, like when you think of Kobe, you think of MJ walking off the court against Utah, the double pump against Elo. Like it's easy to pop off a lot of clutch shots. I mean the Utah, the steal before he even hitting the shot.
At the ball, he gonna shoot.
Yeah,
but look,
LeBron's got the block.
But think about this. So with LeBron, he'll be the only player, if he decides to pass the ball, that has the ability to be able to pass to his son.
Oh, that's a whole, and
so that's lit.
Great father himself, killing that cycle and becoming
NBA, that's lit.
Yeah,
that's
a great father and role model, and doing all sorts of cool stuff.
Look at that. You say broken family home, right? That supposedly you call it a broken family home. LeBron, not you. That's called a broken.
Right.
Family
I'm just
home
going by what they're saying.
LeBron came from, right, and now going to be one of the greatest players in the NBA ever. Right,
great father, great role model.
Father. Now
helped out his community more than
dual parent home, and now both his kids are going to play in the NBA. Right. So does it help to have both parents there? That's what Deion's probably saying.
Yeah,
because
that is exactly what he's saying.
If LeBron would have had both parents, well, I mean, the possibilities are already endless. It just meant he wanted it. He went and got it, and.
Let's quickly go through a couple more of these, just because it was talking about the top athletes from single parent. Shaq's a great leader.
Yeah, Shaq dope.
Shaq, great leader, as far as like teammates like him and stuff.
But can he move to Houston?
But did Shaq hold himself accountable and keep himself in a certain condition and take the game serious enough to where teammates didn't necessarily maybe want to start moving over to Kobe because they were like, you're big, you're great, but you don't really rock with the game like that. Not the way Kobe does.
Let's think about it, man.
Didn't Kobe kind of take that mantle or take that team from him?
Phil Jackson probably gave him the mantle. Like, come on, man, Shaq dope. He just moved to Houston out here too. He does a lot in the community. Like, he goes into Walmart and buys stuff for people just randomly. Like, today we're gonna pull up.
Shaq is the most mumbling ass dude in the world.
Shaq, cool, bro. I think we talked about him before.
Only Papa John's. They tried to give me other pizza at the Celebrity All-Star game. I was like, no, I need Papa.
By the way, speaking of strong dads, though, and that can sometimes, in my opinion, overcome, at least for a male athlete, I do think having the father figure. Here's real quick. I saw this video. It just made me think of it. Shaq talking about his dad apparently would call in the middle of a damn game and tell him, you better start going to work. Look at this. This is funny. Come on. Worky.
Uncle Jerome was security behind the bench, and my father would call him during the game.
Oh, man, he would call me. What is he doing? You watching the same thing I'm watching. Put him on the phone. Say, wait a minute, Phil. He's in the game.
Yes, sir. Why the fuck am I watching this shit? You playing like a little bitch.
We can cuss?
Yes, sir. Turn it up, motherfucker.
I won't die for this shit or what the fuck I say. Front yard, broad day with the S.
So there was at least daddy in his ass to be like, hey, man, turn up. What are you doing? Get to work already.
I mean, Shaq dominating, bro. You could take that part off. Why we gotta have him up on the screen like that?
Yeah, pause.
You know how I know you're,
pause, as you say.
Know how I know you're gay?
Yeah.
No, we ain't gonna go there.
So okay, let's just keep going. It's Lance Armstrong.
No, so Shaq always tells his kids, "I'm rich, you're not."
Right.
Yeah.
Now, as his own parent, he's kept a certain standard.
Right.
Absolutely.
And, I mean, so yeah, I don't the single parent home. Like I said, that's Deion's his formula.
Okay. Well, just real quick. So there's Lance Armstrong. Now, he wasn't the only one cheating, but he lied his ass off. I don't know if I'd want him to be a quarterback. Obviously, different sports, but just personality-wise, would you want these guys to be the quarterback, the leader of your team? Would you want Lance Armstrong to lead your team? Knowing that he's sociopathically just lying his ass off.
What is the team riding the bikes in the locker room or during training?
In this hypothetical universe we live in, let's just say that every one of these guys is actually they're really good at football, and you're recruiting them possibly. So would you want a Lance Armstrong as your leader? Would you want an Alex Rodriguez?
I would want Shaq as the quarterback.
You want Shaq as your quarterback?
Yeah, because who's gonna tackle him?
You think Shaq had a 3.5 GPA?
He probably he can't shoot free throws.
Do you think Shaq had a 3? That was the other part of Deion's thing, though. You got to have a 3.5 GPA. Do you think Shaq got?
Shaq got a lot of business, so he probably do. Dr. Shaquille O'Neal, isn't he a doctor?
I have to be very careful
I think
again
he's
because
a doctor.
I'm going to piss off Mike Tyson and
I'm almost
Shaq.
certain he's a doctor.
They're going to just take turns.
And Shaq might pull up
destroying
on you.
me. Yeah, both
Shaq
these dudes
live in Houston, so you better,
Yeah. I will say young Shaq, when asked once upon a time when he was in Greece if he visited the Parthenon, he said, I don't remember the names of the clubs we went to.
He was lit, bro.
He might have been being sarcastic. Shaq is dry humor, so I have to go revisit that. Okay, anyways, let me just Ricky Williams. Is Ricky Williams a great leader of a team?
Who
Great
came
running
up with
back.
this list? I think who came up with this
You're
list,
saying
man?
it was biased, like they just came up with random ass.
You just gonna hit me with Ricky Williams right now?
Ray Lewis.
I'm not even getting into Ray. Ray was innocent, wasn't he? I don't know anything about this, man.
Allegedly.
Hey, man, if you don't say nothing, they don't know nothing. I don't know nothing about nothing you're talking about.
The one thing I'm pretty sure is factual, and I will make sure to say it's still allegedly, but I'm 99% sure this is factual. The night of that, whatever happened, murder, whatever you want to call it, self-defense, Ray Lewis was asked the next day to provide his clothing from that night, and he said he couldn't find them.
He was rich. Maybe he
tossed his damn clothes because there was blood on it,
like,
bro.
Like
allegedly.
A lot of people don't even wear rich people don't wear the same underwear, bro. Like twice.
The next day,
they get like 5 different pair of underwear for the same day. So he might have went to the club and spilled something on his white linen. I don't know what happened. I'm being devil's advocate, but I don't know. We don't know what happened.
There's a lot of alternate timelines that could have. Yeah, he did beat the charges.
I mean, not to say he beat the charges. Maybe he just didn't do it.
Or
Maybe he just didn't do it.
Rightfully was not accused of anything because he was not guilty, is what you're alluding to. Or maybe he did help dispose of something that was bleeding and was like, I'm not giving this to the cops. I'm going to make sure these clothes are nowhere to be found. That's another possibility of things.
Man. That's a stand-up guy, Ray Lewis. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know about that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we all both know he probably has something to do with that, but whatever.
Yeah.
Ain't got nothing to do with me.
Now, Larry Bird, again, was at 18, but Larry Bird he was a leader, and he did all the things that you would want. Yeah,
basketball was different back then.
But he was a mean son of a bitch. Jackie Robinson, I think trust me, I ain't touching that one. I ain't touching anything other than Jackie Robinson. Hey, cool.
Good one.
Good example of another.
But still, who came up? Why are you just going to throw Ricky Williams in there, bro?
I didn't do it. I just Googled. I was like, let's look up both sides and see what they give me the top on. And the one side, you got KD, LeBron, you got A-Rod, Lance Armstrong, Kaepernick.
Come on, man. A-Rod, man.
A-Rod is not. That was Jeter's team. Don't even try to go there. A-Rod and Clutch. A-Rod is known maybe most famously of any athlete. He's one of the least clutch athletes on the planet.
I have to watch more baseball. During that time frame, I didn't watch a lot of baseball. So.
Well, I don't watch no damn baseball. And even I know that A-Rod was in clutch.
I can't watch that whole game that whole time.
I mean, maybe if Harry was still doing it.
Since the Astros been winning, I did it. Yeah, Cubs win.
Maybe if Harry was still doing it.
35th Street.
I have to throw this in here since I found it too. By the way, there are scientific research and things that have been done on the single parent versus two parent and the athlete thing. Successful athletes tend to come from more stable families. This was from 2013, but was written by a guy named Seth Stevens Davidowitz, a Harvard and Stanford graduate who, quote, analyzed large data sets to identify unexpected or counterintuitive social patterns, found that growing up in a wealthier two-parent neighborhood is a more positive predictor of reaching the NBA for both black and white men than those who were raised in a not-so-stable one-parent home.
Okay, that sounds plausible. Think about it. If you grow up in a better neighborhood, you get to play on better gyms, better clothes, better situation, probably go to a better school, so you're going to learn better. Just in underserved communities, they don't have that privilege. Mm-hmm. They probably fighting to get home every day, choosing a side of gangs to be on, or might have to serve somebody. Might have to. It's a bunch of different factors. But growing up in, since you
might have a dude text you, come bring me my joint. You know what I mean? there's a lot of stuff that could happen,
bro.
You're talking about come bring my joint.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah. And to give you an idea, that's what the study did say. It was like, and this is maybe tying it all back to what Deion said and why there might be some truth to the list and everything we were having fun with. The fact is, usually a two-parent home doesn't just mean how you were raised. It also means you probably and statistically are economically in a better situation. And in the end, that is going to help because as you pointed out, and as this study by this Harvard and Stanford graduate, not even joking, went to both goddamn schools, the study was saying that a lot of this was, like you said, being given better opportunities, being access to better schools, better equipment, better nutrition is another thing.
Okay, so how about this then? Is it safe to say, based upon Deion's recruiting methods, that the other list, the single-parent homes, those are anomalies? Individuals that say, I don't care about what opportunities I was given. I'm taking mine.
Right.
So, I mean, it all depends on how bad you want it.
And
bring me my joint.
There are outliers on both sides of that fence, and you can make that argument. But Deion Sanders, I don't know. I don't know if he was lying.
Look, it was the big lie.
I don't know.
I mean, he did something right. What you said, 11-2, then undefeated.
And by the way, here's the funniest part about the whole damn thing. His son is now the quarterback for Colorado.
Yeah.
And Deion's been divorced twice.
Oh, didn't know that.
So he doesn't even follow his own damn program as far as like, you got to be in a stable two-parent home your whole life.
Ah, man. All right.
Hey, the kid can ball, too. Don't get me wrong.
Shadir
Shadir can ball his ass off. Took, again, that school that was not winning a damn thing to undefeated 12-0, had 36 passing touchdowns, 5 rushing, 3,400 yards. I mean, the kid is a stud. But it is interesting that, after all this, I'm going to be on the Rich Eisen show and talk my stuff. And then, I'm going to play my own kid, and I've been divorced twice. What you going to do about it?
Whatever. I do what I want.
What are you going to do?
Come on. At the very last second, man, you going to hit me with the curveball.
Yeah. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Okay, well, it's cool when I do it. It's a problem when they do it.
Right.
Whatever. I do what I want.
Or however that go, whatever.
It's cool, though.
Yeah.
In the end, there's points to be made on both sides, but I wouldn't be that mad at it if I was the athletic director or somebody. He's like, look, my quarterback, I got to make sure his brain's on straight. I got to make sure he's got a 3.5 GPA. There's certain things, and I might miss on a certain recruit here or there, but I'm going to play the numbers. I'm going to play the percentages and say, for the quarterback, the main leader of the team, here are my requirements. I'm rolling with them. I'm Deion. Kiss my ass.
I mean, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie.
I
mean, he played in NFL.
If anyone knows,
he was like, I would
locker rooms.
Yeah, so hey, he's doing something right. And who are these people that you keep saying that are mad? Don't they have something else to do? Are they coaches as well? Are they,
No.
Did they go to Harvard and Stanford?
No.
Like, so who cares?
But they got blogs and shit, and they just want to, they got to talk about stuff.
Okay, bet.
Internet's got plenty of time. The internet never loses. It is the way that it goes.
Undefeated.
The internet is undefeated. Even a 14-year-old little kid just found out about this.
Oh, no.
Come on.
Felipe. Argentinian Felipe.
What did he do?
All right. Now, it was a whole thing. We got into this in the last podcast about how load management in the NBA has become a big thing. Yeah. They can't handle their loads. Say it.
Nope.
Say it.
Nope.
Say pause.
Nope.
I said that was known as a softball.
It was nope. Didn't want
pause
that.
again. It was a softballs.
Nope. I'm gonna let you have that one
for the load managing. They cannot handle the loads in the NBA anymore. They can't play 82 saying. No. Your boy, hey, by the way, your boy DeMar DeRozan, Chicago Bulls fan, just said recently that you cannot be an MVP without at least 78 games played.
Yep. I believe it. But the NBA is soft right now, so
softer than just Charmin baby shit. The whole thing, it is getting ridiculous. This idea that you can just sit out games and catch a paycheck.
Why you want to sit out the game? Like you wanted to go to the NBA.
You would
if you
think
want to sit out the game, then go work at Checkers. Or something.
But they're still getting their money, and Kendrick Perkins, who I was just razzing on before I even got on here, saying as far as analytics, don't ask Kendrick Perkins to break down the game. Kendrick Perkins would not be quarterback for the Colorado Buffaloes under Deion Sanders, is all I'm saying as far as
does he have both parents?
I don't know.
See? So the facts, you don't know.
I don't think just because someone talks or acts a certain way, I can't necessarily say I don't know if Kendrick Perkins had a 3.5 GPA. I watch him a lot on NBA Today. he's not like a Candace
I
Parker.
concur.
Or
I concur. I would say, if we had to guess a GPA, I'm not gonna say that. You know what? We're gonna let him live.
Point being, I even agreed with him, though, when he was saying the only way to stop NBA load management as far as, them sitting out games and doing all this and sitting out back-to-backs, you got to hit the wallet. It's the only – they had all these other solutions.
First of all, who came up with load management? Why is this a thing?
Oh, and even I think he was the one to say
a rule, a law? Like,
San Antonio Spurs. Greg Popovich and the Spurs started this all the way back, I want to say 2012. When Tim Duncan, and that's because I hated that damn team. I hated the San Antonio Spurs with a passion.
Manu.
And and to tie it back to this Felipe story, I was already on this wave. So there's a little in Miami. There was a 14-year-old kid, I'll even post the little video here, that went viral a little bit ago because he was a victim of exactly what a lot of people talk about with what happens with load management. These kids come to these games, they're all excited to see their favorite player, and then the goddamn guy doesn't even play. Not that he's not healthy, but that you're just sitting him out in a regular season game that everyone still paid for. You didn't tell everyone else they can go home because we're not going to play our stars tonight, half off on the ticket. So
with this load management, wait, does the coach make this call or the player make the call?
And that's been a whole nother
is
discussion.
The coach making the call or the player?
Because
the player, you petty. You shouldn't, you petty.
Mm-hmm.
I can see, if you hurt a little bit. But if it's the coach, Coach, what are you doing?
Right.
You can't coach. You have this great player. You're not letting him play.
Oh, NBA coaches can't say a damn thing to their player. I have learned that. They really seem to have – there's very few coaches in the NBA that seem to have the respect level necessary to even – tell them they should play a little more defense.
To be honest with you,
it
bro,
is some
I don't even know
substitute
most
teacher
of the
nonsense.
Coaches. I don't know most of the coaches on the team.
Yeah.
If I'm watching the game, oh yeah, that is his coach.
Right.
It's more about who does Jason Tatum play for, or what team does LeBron play for, or what team. Man, it's like that. It's unfortunate, but like you said, there's no respect because the league's so soft. And the
NBA is a player-run league right now. There is hardly anything you can say or do against players.
Well, they started it with that shut up and dribble. All right, so. Yeah.
Oh, that's Fox. That's a whole.
All right, yeah. Back to Jimmy. Let's see what's up with Jimmy.
Yeah. So there was a kid out there. He said he came, had a big-ass sign, the whole thing. 14-year-old Felipe went viral. This was right before one of the Miami Heat games. Inside the NBA picks up this video. I won't play the whole video because there's a twist to it because, again, the internet never loses.
Yeah. Be
careful with the internet. But for a while, this was the running story. So you see it again here. Just going to run it through real quick. We'll even stop. So this is his face that went viral. Right now his sister's going, hey. We came, see he's got his sign. Jimmy, I came 4,000. I came all the way from Argentina, South America, just to see you play Jimmy Butler. I'm so excited. Can we please get a photo? I flew 4,400 miles. Now the sister.
Hey, and it said her coffee. Jimmy Butler has his own coffee.
Oh, see, even kind of playing into, yeah. So the sister tells him right here he's not playing, drops the sign. This cut right here is what went viral. He's like, oh, it's so sad. The poor kid doesn't get to see, his favorite player play over a load management issue. This was what went viral and all the other things.
Oh, no.
So Jimmy Butler, being a solid dude.
Was it Jimmy with the braids with the dreads or Jimmy back to normal?
What is Jimmy? I think Jimmy's back to his normal.
You remember I don't know if you know this, but on 2K, 2K got mad that Jimmy had that because he was trolling them.
Right.
They changed his profile or his player picture to one from 2 years before.
Yeah.
They don't use that anymore.
Yeah. So they gets back inside the NBA. Either Chuck or Shaq or someone gets back to Miami and says, hey, dude, this video, we didn't even mean to. We were just showing the crowd. Next thing you know, little poor Felipe, his little face has gone viral. Y'all need to do something. So not only did he get to basically the next game, Friday night, the next Friday after that, he got to spend the home game, not just courtside with Jimmy Butler, They took him on like their own personal tour. He got to go back in the
Got some
locker
coffee.
room.
Probably
got
probably no coffee. Well, Argentina, he probably hard. He probably got some
I
coffee.
bet 14-year-olds have been pumping coffee and God knows what else. You know what I mean?
He had some coffee.
They don't play
he
around.
Got the coffee to bring it back from. No.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, or
to
had
pack
some
it up,
coffee
you know?
beans in a
Jimmy was
suitcase.
Like, that's what he wanted the coffee for. He was like, hey,
Allegedly,
Jimmy, can I get
yeah.
some coffee? Get it
Some
off
really
the boat.
strong smelling stuff.
Bring my joint.
Yeah, bring me my joint.
I love weed, okay? I love it.
So yeah, he gets to hang out with the team here
That's cool.
and all that. Isn't that great? Isn't this a great story? He gets to lead the
There go
chant.
Jimmy right there.
Look at him and Jimmy.
All right, bet.
Look at, isn't this a sweet story?
Bet. Yeah, that's lit. Cool.
The internet never loses. I will now finish the video. So you remember the sign. You remember, this poor kid is the epitome, the role model.
Let me find out he's not a kid like that 21-year-old.
No, he ain't.
that was
It ain't
playing
one of
basketball.
those.
It's
Yeah,
not,
like
no,
he's got some
vice versa.
weird syndrome or nothing.
Okay.
But they've been, for one, they got money and they've been doing this routine. Whoops. This is from a year before. Not only do they apparently got money like that they can just keep getting really close seats and flying from Argentina back and forth, but the sister a year before had up her own sign. And actually, I like how she combined the round trip. He just did, I did 4,400 miles to come see you. She put him, she
I was going to say how many miles, but okay, well.
Be careful.
Internet, so how did they get money to keep? So how did they know when the players weren't playing?
There's a lot of now questions that have been answered or been asked because, yes, they found a video from a year ago. Same kid. It's the same kid. It's the sister. There's
Sure.
there is no
it is.
denying that is the same two kids. I'll say allegedly again because I've been saying that a lot tonight. But, yeah, that's the same kid, poor Felipe, who, never got to see an NBA game, flew from Argentina.
No, it doesn't say never on there. It just says we flew to see you play.
Assumed through, they say, stay quiet and let people.
Okay, but look, it says our birthday. Is it their birthday that day? Internet's not defeated. Go find out on that date of that game, was it really those kids' birthday?
I guess the point that the internet is making is that of all the ones to pick out of the crowd to give the special treatment for all the kids that have been dealt with this load management nonsense, you had to pick the ones and put it out all over. Because Jimmy did blast on his own Instagram, like, look, I'm here with Felipe. Remember the kid that was crying? Look, we're taking care of him. We're taking him in the locker room.
Now,
I gave him all the coffee in the world.
Yeah, he gave him all the coffee in the world because we know Argentina got it busting down there.
Right. He's got keys overseas. Don't worry about it.
How did they get there? Was it really their birthday that day?
I don't know.
I mean, and it's not their fault Steph wasn't. I mean, they probably found out Steph wasn't. Obviously, if you came to see the Warriors game, you came to see Steph play. So you'd be blue if they be like, yeah, Steph's not playing. All right, if you went to see Miami, you're going to see Jimmy, not Kevin Love or whoever else they got out there, Tyler Hero. You came to see Jimmy. So, yeah, I'd be blue. Did they go make the sign in the bathroom? If they did,
I mean, they can't have made that. That's some damn.
That's smart.
I mean, look, that's not even the sign itself is hey, I did some marker and some plaster or some plastic or whatever.
Like, I mean,
that is a like.
They did no wrong. They're that close.
They obviously got money to keep flying back and forth from Argentina.
That hence the coffee.
You know what I mean? The coffee business is good out there in Argentina.
Yeah, man. Like, I mean.
Getting decent seats. They're not getting bad seats.
Coffee. It's not their fault that Steph didn't play. Was it, in fact, their birthday? It's not their fault Jimmy didn't play. If they pop up in L.A. and LeBron is sitting out on load management, like, is it their fault?
Oh, the load management thing is still complete horseshit. Don't get me wrong. Like, I have no understanding of how it's being allowed, and the only way I agree with Kendrick Perkins, the only solution is to hit the wallet and say, you don't play, you don't get paid.
Yeah, you don't play, you don't pay. You don't play, no pay.
Guess how work works? You know what I mean? Like, you don't go to work, we don't pay you, stupid. That's not how things go down. You want to play, we'll pay you. But if not, we're not paying you. And I really don't even know how it's even less, or has become even more complicated than that, other than, of course, contracts, CBA, all the things that are behind the scenes.
All that.
But I think the internet was pointing out that, yes, this kid is not nearly as naive or as, downtrodden as he allowed himself to be. Obviously, probably didn't mention.
Did he say he was poor? He didn't say anything about him being poor.
Again, is allowing Yeah, I mean, I guess the question is as a 14-year-old kid, was he aware enough to be like, yeah, I ain't gonna say a damn thing. I'm getting backstage. You know what I mean? I'm getting.
Yeah, if you was a 14-year-old kid, you going
like,
I'm just
is
saying
any
the sign-
14-year-old going to turn that down?
It's a sign for me. I'm like, how did they figure out that Steph wasn't playing? And all right, they don't have like some sports science. All right, Steph is playing this many games. I think he's going to miss next week.
Right.
They're gonna sit him down. So then now, hey, we have to fly out here. Let's go start a GoFundMe to get a ticket because the ticket's probably very expensive, especially to go see Steph play.
Oh, man.
You see how close they are?
Yeah,
So,
that's what I mean.
So yeah, if they came up with that to get backstage and meet Steph, more power to them. Make me a sign.
Yeah.
Except we ain't got nobody here in Houston to go see.
Well, they might
Not
get
yet.
Wembanyama. They got a 14% chance as of now to get Victor.
Yeah, you heard.
I don't know why I rolled my R's. French
I
don't
don't
even roll
know
their
what you
R's
got
like
going on
that.
with that, man. Go back to Harry Carey.
Hey!
Why is it spelled like that backwards? Yeah, Pat Beverly went to. You just thought about what it said, right?
Yeah, spelled it backwards. Hair spelled backwards. Still Hera. There was a video we played the other day. By the way, I had one more Harry Carey. Can we tie just to tie everything together? I think this would be good. I think that's going to be my new favorite thing to do is once we start wrapping things up. Tony being from Chicago and all.
I thought you were shout out Chicago Bulls. We got to deal with Pat Beverly.
Just signed Patrick Beverly. Good for you, buddy.
Hey, Chicago, go get Melo.
Look at you. You did it.
Please, no.
Good for you.
Point guard of the future, Patrick Beverly, the defensive wizard.
I just threw up a little bit in my mouth.
Patrick Beverly is the most,
Pat
arguably
Pat
ever.
Beverly got me kicked out the Rockets game. I'm always going to say that. For no reason, I had took the concierge over to the game. I had some pretty good tickets, and he thought I was heckling him. He got me kicked out the game. I should have had me a sign like them little kids. I could have been right there in the front. Hey, Pat Bev, don't be such a... Come on, man.
Oh, good for you.
Anyways, you are a
Hey,
Chicago guy.
I'm working. I used to be a sailor, so I'm working on not cursing. And I know my kids might want to watch this on air. So let me know
Yeah.
when we have the uncut one, because then I'm like, man, go to bed. You can't watch this one.
Right.
But,
Saying some stuff.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Harry Carey says some stuff.
He does. He says some, yeah.
See, for some of you young cats, you don't know. Back in the day, there was no such thing as the internet. There was no such thing as ESPN, 97 sports channels.
You had to watch it.
You had to watch it, and there was only a few games. It wasn't like you had all the games, NBA League
Nah,
Pass and
WGN had all the Bulls games.
WGN. For some reason, and I don't even really know the story on why, but in the 80s and 90s, I mean, boy, did they luck into, by the way, the 90s Bulls as far as because it was just no damn reason. One of
Everything.
your local channels was WGN, the Chicago affiliate, and they played all the Cubs games and all the Bulls games on national television. So even me in Corpus Christi, Texas, would watch every Chicago game just because it was one of the only games on TV.
They had Jordan, man. And we back then, who we had? Ryan Sandberg, Andre Dawson.
Right.
We was a squad.
Right.
So we was on TV.
And all, of course, announced by the man, Harry Carey.
Hey,
Rest in Hey,
R.I.P.
the moon was made of cheese. Would you eat it? Hell, I would. I'd have seconds.
Why is it spelled like that backwards?
Why? So, yeah.
It's because you had that last beer, Harry.
Yeah, we played a video last week of Harry's complete inability to either understand or pronounce the Espanol names that were starting to come up in the 80s and 90s. Galarraga. Andres Galarraga. It was Galarraga. I mean, I don't know. I like Harry. You spell Hera backwards, still Hera. You spell Galarraga backwards. It's Alagagagagagag. There's some nonsense like that. Found another one. I think we're going to keep doing this for a while. Bring it back to everything Deion Sanders said about being a parent, watch your kid. 80s were raw. 80s went in raw, dog.
Yeah. No pun intended.
I mean it. They went in raw, dog. They did not play around.
Like Karl Malone. Oh wait, nenever mind. Too soon. Too soon. We gonna leave that alone. Karl Malone. Too soon. That was that a dual parent home for the 13-year-old?
I mean,
right?
the parent was still in
Now, you know
middle
what?
school.
We're gonna leave that alone. Man.
Yikes. Yeah. So this is Harry Carey. By the way, just gotta love the 80s, man.
I'm not perfect, so I probably got some. I ain't got them type of skeletons, but like, dang, bro, that's what y'all was doing. Wow,
20 years
Like,
old,
that don't
13, Karl
that don't
Malone.
make any type of sense. So
him
I'm not
up.
saying he said I'm human and nobody's perfect. I'm not going to address that. So one day, some might come up. They be like, "Yeah, man, did you pee on yourself?" I'm like, "No, I'm human. I'm not going to address that."
Made no mistakes. Ain't done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
By the way, it was
I might
ambassador.
say that.
Karl Malone, ambassador of the All-Star game. Isn't that great? Sitting next to
If
Kareem,
they said I did
LeBron,
it- if they said I
judging
did
the
it, I
dunk
did it.
contest.
That's wild.
Hey, that was a while ago. That was a while ago that he had a child with a
But the
13-year-old
80s were
kid at
different.
20 years old.
The 80s were different. I mean, maybe he listened to a lot of R. Kelly back then. You know, I'm from Chicago. You know, hey, we're gonna put that up.
Haters wanna hate. Think about in 2023 if Harry Carey said this about parenting.
Keith and Deanna McDowell, formerly of South Barrington. Their daughter Eileen watching the game down at Champaign-Urbana at the University of Illinois. I'm sure a pretty co-ed is watching the baseball game.
On Friday night, of
Friday
course.
night at Champaign-Urbana. Here's a bouncing ball.
Never in the world.
Easy out trio. Comes on the back.
In case you didn't hear.
But if her parents want to believe so, it's all right with us.
What?
We've got the land in
I
Florida.
had that jersey too. Just recently, I had that same jersey.
Well, let's just review.
Listen,
So,
man,
in the
come on,
middle of a
man.
damn game, okay, I'm sure your 19-year-old daughter's at home on a Friday night, pretty co-ed like herself, just watching a baseball game, Dad.
First of all, man, like this.
I'm
Harry
sure
Carey,
she's not
bro.
getting her back blown out by somebody.
I ain't getting it. Ooh, Harry Carey. Rest in peace, man.
In the middle of a
man.
game, just
That's what
ad-libbing.
I'm saying. People too soft nowadays, man. We've been like too desensitized to like everything going on in the world. So like I think we worry about the wrong things. And I mean, I get it. That's like not the politically correct thing.
Bro, can
to
you
say,
imagine in
but
2023 the announcers out of nowhere, shout out to this player's daughter watching the game.
Never. He gonna
I'm
pull up
actually-
on you like Matt Barnes. Like,
Yeah, I'm sure not. Yeah, or Brand, whatever, Alabama.
No, I'm talking about Matt Barnes.
yeah.
You know,
Matt Barnes
He'll
did-
pull up on you. He'll drive across the he put up on Derek Fisher.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. He
like,
pulled up
yeah,
on
yeah.
Fisher almost to the level of the astronaut lady. Remember the astronaut lady?
Yeah, that put the pads on and everything.
That crazy one put on some
Yeah.
damn diapers.
Diapers and all
She
that,
put
man.
on diapers to go get. She was so mad at her again in Florida. It's always in Florida.
Yeah, Florida.
Florida's got Florida and
crazy, bro.
Alabama.
Shout out Duval.
Yeah.
You know, goes down in Duval, man.
Yeah, the astronaut lady put on diapers so she did not have to take a piss break. Drove her crazy ass. I mean, I want to say almost
Yeah.
as far as the Argentinian kid went to
Yeah.
watch a basketball game.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, hey, when a woman's fed up, bro,
Hell
I'm
hath
gonna
no
tell you
fury.
right now, when a woman's fed up, hey, chill out. That's wild. But Harry Carey, wild for that.
I got to hear
It's
that
the
one more
same
time.
for me.
I got to hear
Wow
that
for
one more. I got to. Hey,
The dude strike out. He was like, man, hold on.
the hell did you say about my daughter?
That was one. That was
You
one
got
hell
your
of a
rabbit ass mind.
One hell of a bat flip. Shut up, Harry. Yeah.
I'm just saying she's probably not at home.
Yeah,
Keith and Deanna McDowell,
that's so wild.
formerly of South Barrington. Their daughter Eileen watching the game down at Champaign-Urbana at the University of Illinois. I'm sure a pretty co-ed is watching the baseball game.
On Friday night, of
Friday
course.
night at Champaign-Urbana.
Yeah, I'm sure of it. I'm sure.
Nah, he said he knows how it goes down. Really? And nothing embarrassing but like jails.
Really?
I think it's nothing embarrassing but like jails.
You know, Jim, I lean on the theory that Eileen is probably getting worked all over this campus right now. Not watching her father right now hit a ground ball to first.
Hey, who's the other commentator? Look, he instigating. He's like,
Right, like, yeah, she ain't
He's
home.
like, yeah,
She
yeah,
ain't
yeah,
home,
yeah,
Eric.
yeah. She over there getting it in.
I know her personally. Me
Like,
and
they probably
Carl know
like,
her.
Yeah.
Gotta love Harry Carey. Rest in peace.
I don't think we heard that in a minute.
We're gonna always have more of those.
No, I'm talking about Cubs win. We gotta.
Oh, that's a whole. Well,
Chicago teams got to start doing something, man. Dang, what is with Chicago management? It's like
Man,
our teams
y'all-
never want to
y'all are-
win. It's like they never want to win.
Jordan got y'all
Dang.
hyped to where y'all think you're like a New York or LA. No, you're not.
Yeah, we are.
Mm.
Chicago's the greatest nation in the world. How about that? Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I'm willing to bet the Chicago Bulls hat is still the most purchased NBA hat right now.
In the NBA over the Lakers.
Over the Lakers. I'm willing to bet that.
Figure out what you're going to bet because I'll figure out what I'm going to take from you.
We're gonna see next podcast. I'm gonna say that the Bulls fan attire. No, I'm gonna say hats because Lakers trash.
You want to throw that out there? You want to say right now that the Bulls attire is the number one sold?
I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna say hats because
now you want to say hat. Now you want to.
I say hats the first time. I say hats the first time because they make so many different Chicago Bulls hats. You go to everybody's city in the airport, you see Chicago Bulls hats. You don't see Astros hats. I mean, you do see Astros hats. Excuse me.
I'm about to say in Houston.
You don't see Rockets hats, and when you go to North Carolina, when you land in ATL, you see Chicago Bulls hats. When you land in LA, you see Chicago Bulls hats.
I'll be glad to take your money from you.
Yeah, Chicago. Okay.
Maybe go find Eileen, take her out to dinner. Hell, who knows?
Shut up, Harry Carey. Bring my joint.
Bring me my joint. Give me my joint and my Budweiser, and hell, I'll eat a whole wheel of cheese. I don't give a damn.
Oh, man.
Me and Eileen going to be together.
Hey, man. Shout out to Jimmy and that coffee, man.
Always a pleasure, Tony.
Always a pleasure, bro.
All right.
I love it, man. Take care of yourself, man. Stay blessed, man. Blessed and highly favored.